Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. We are delighted that you've chosen to join us on this joyful July morning. And we love to connect to so many people through YouTube, through Facebook, and all of our social media accounts. So I encourage you to go to our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We're always adding something new each and every week. So who are we at CSL Charlotte? Well, we are a New Thought community based on the science of mind. Now, this philosophy was created in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Dr. Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He combined truths from all the world's traditions and spiritual paths and created a fresh, new way to look at ourselves and how we fit into this world. So what do we do here at CSL Charlotte? First of all, I would like you to know that we are a diverse community who love and accept everyone. You can be yourself. We're open and affirmative. We don't care what your race, sexual orientation, or any other physical distinction, because we know that we are all individualized expressions of that light that is within each and every one of us. And we also use many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Tao Te Ching, just to name a few examples. So why are we here? Our vision is not just to talk about these teachings, but to actually embody and live these teachings so we can transform ourselves and inspire other people to step forward in their own empowerment, to change the world into a much better place. So if that sounds great to you, then I encourage you to check out our weekly consciousness meetings that meets at Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And there we'll give you the tools to do just that, for you to empower yourself. So before I pass the mic over, I would like to read you a quote for today that goes along with today's theme. Synchronicity can be taken as evidence that we're on the path of flow and being in life rather than the path of forcing ourselves on life. And that is by Ollie Anderson. And with that, I'll pass the mic over to our fabulous, radiant Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Thank you, Brother Allen, my right-hand man. Thank you so much. And to all of our YouTube people and people listening to us and everybody on our virtual community, welcome. We are Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. It's important because you got to hear that a little bit more in the talk. Just saying. So today, our attention is on crafting a life in alignment. In alignment. So first, we'll open our Sunday celebrations with an affirmative prayer to set the tone. But leading us in this prayer is my beautiful, soulful voice, Dr. Wanda. And she's coming way to us from Southern California. Ha ha! I was going to say South Carolina. Not good. So I know she's crafting a life in alignment. She always does. So, okay, Dr. Wanda, let's pray.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with you this morning. So let's settle in and know that we have arrived at the right place on time, in time, and for the right purposes today. I know that there is one power and one presence in this universe that supersedes anything that looks unlike itself. In itself is infinite possibility and potentiality. It is always flowing forward, upward, outward. And I know that because that is the way spirit works, it never goes backwards, it only goes forward. So when there is chaos in the world, I know that it is that universal one presence trying to rebirth something, to bring something new. And the new is always better than what came before because we are always evolving. We are in the middle of a spiritual evolution right here, right now. And so as we align ourselves today, I ask you to go into your heart and feel the beat of your heart. And as you feel the beat of your heart, just know that there is a beat in the planet, in the universal. And we are aligning that heartbeat with our heartbeat because we are one with it. It is one with us. It is who we are at our core. There is no separation. The very air that we breathe is the glue that binds us together. And as we are bound together and as we arrived here this morning in joyful expectation to be reminded of who we are and our connection to that infinite possibility and potentiality and love and inclusion and just magical, surprising potentials. And so I accept that. I know that, and I name it and I claim it for each and every one who has arrived here this morning, because you are here on point, on purpose. And I know that Reverend Rosedale has opened herself this morning to be a conduit for Spirit to speak through us and in her as she channels a message of inclusion, of love, of alignment. And alignment means entraining ourselves with one another, becoming one, because we are one. But knowing that, allowing the realization of that to flow through us and in us is the most important part. That's our job, to be the unique individual that we are and yet be part of the whole that we are. We are cells in the body of this planet. And with that, I simply know and accept all good is flowing through us and in us. There is nothing unlike that good in the universe. Anything that presents otherwise is something trying to emerge. And I know that today we are part of a collective all over the world that comes together in alignment, encouragement, in inclusion, in empowerment, in expectation of the coming good. And with that, I simply say thank you. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you for that reminder, Dr. Wanda. We don't try to emerge. We do emerge. And we do hear. And we are open and receptive to everything around us. So thank you so much. And I like to name it and claim it. So next on our platform is our reader, Reverend Sonja Prince. She's another one of my fabulous friends and colleagues, and I think she might know a little something about crafting a life in alignment. Since she's doing the reading, we're gonna see what she knows. And after Reverend Sonja reads this, listen to the song, Stronger Than You Know. You need to know that, because a lot of us think we're strong, but we are stronger than that. So listen to that by Fearless Soul. Reverend Sonja, make it do what it do.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. Today's reading, the title of it is Visioning in Communion, the Power of Sacred Repetition. And it's written by our very own Reverend Rosedale Jones. And I'm going to start this reading with a quote by Reverend Rosedale. And it reads, "When we receive divine insight from visioning, we become what we repeat. It's that simple and that powerful. The results you see in your life are not random. They are reflections of your rituals or spiritual practices. Your financial reality echoes your habits around giving, serving, and doing the work. The wisdom you carry mirrors your hunger to learn. The energy of your home reflects your pattern of order or chaos. Every action, every repeated choice, whether conscious or unconscious, is a prayer in motion. You become what you repeat. It's that simple and that powerful. Repetition is a sacred rhythm of transformation. It is the breath of the divine moving through the mundane. It is the steady beat of your yes to the vision you receive in stillness. Like a drum that calls you home to your purpose, repetition roots your dream into the soil of reality. Each habit is a brushstroke and repetition. That the technique that turns scattered strokes into a masterful transformation. It's how ideals become embodied. It's how inspiration become incarnation. Now, why does this work? because the infinite intelligence that designed your brain also encoded it with efficiency. Your mind seeks flow, not friction. And when you repeat a behavior, especially one aligned with your soul's calling, your brain builds a pathway, a groove of grace. What once took effort becomes ease. What once felt like discipline becomes devotion. This is the power of communion with the divine. You vision, you listen, you act, you repeat. Your mind, body, spirit integrates is a temple, and your habits, they create masterful manifestations. I'm going to read that one again. Your body, mind, spirit integration is a temple, and your habits, they create masterful manifestations. And with each sacred repetition, you become a vibrational match with the quantum field for your highest good. So create habits that are sacred. Bring your faith into form again and again. Let your life echo the vision you are given, and let that vision be carried on the wings of repeated spirit-led action. And so it is.
Stronger than you know. We'll start with a short centering. Relax your eyes and look into your lap if you want, but just get away from the distractions off the sides or in your ears. And I invite you to take a breath with me and slowly release it. So, according to Fearless Soul, you are stronger than you know. And you're also more capable than you have ever dreamed. So, and this, you are loved more than you could possibly imagine. You never know how much love other people have for you unless you get out of your head. You can hear it, see it, and feel it. Let those words echo into your heart in this moment, because alignment begins with remembrance. It's a remembrance of your strength and a remembrance of your power. See, when you feel the strength, you already have it. Whenever you feel it, I got it. So crafting a life in alignment doesn't begin with doing. It begins with being. So being that you are already enough, you are a place of wholeness where everything becomes possible. So this song should be mimicking something back at you, and it's telling us, or reminding us to start crafting a life of alignment. Get alignment with that strength, get an alignment with that power, get into alignment with your wholeness. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, body, and your spirit, and take a few more breaths with ease. Now embrace the energy of your space and just start just where you are, crafting a life in alignment. So, crafting a life in alignment begins with developing visioning as a regular practice. You've heard the reading all about habit, 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 habit. You do something more than 10 times, it becomes a habit, but you got to do them. See, a practice that actually anchors in truth and aligns with purpose is what we need, because it supports our spiritual evolution. You got to support that spiritual evolution in that constant and consistent practice. Visioning is more though than visualization. People think I'm talking about willingness to happen. That's not it. A vision is a glimpse. Visioning is a glimpse of your intention for an outcome that you desire. So we open ourselves to receive consistently, communing with mind, insights, guidance, and inspiration. It shows us our potential outcome with clarity, with courage, and grace. But here's the thing. When you ask the question, you're looking for some words to come back, or you're looking for, stop. Just ask the question and move on. So this is the essence of visioning into the future, because it'll give you that glimpse if you just zip it and chill. See, it's a call to align our intentions with a unified field. A lot of times my body says, you need a visioning and you need to get with some people that you know will be backing you in that visioning. And that's what I'll do. So at the heart of this powerful truth that we get to see as our future, alignment starts. It starts with an action though. And what is the action? Watching your everyday choices. Because you know what? The everyday choices that we make, no matter how small, shape our path. It shapes us toward our highest outcomes. See, alignment is not simply about setting long-term goals and going, all right, so it should come when it comes. It's about weaving things in daily. I think I must have recorded on my phone about 10 recordings. And these recordings are things that I'm weaving in. And they're all my intentions and desires. I'm not focused on one thing at a time. I'm focusing on my entire life. So it's about weaving all those goals into the fabric of your daily life. See, there's a quiet power in taking these little mindful steps in the direction of our purpose and what we really want to do and where we want to go. When we live in rhythm with our highest vision, we stop chasing those dreams. Stop chasing them. And then we begin to embody them. The extraordinary is really born from the ordinary. But check it out, when you are awake to it. And in each moment, we are always offered, every single moment. You may not know that, like Horace and I was talking, we can't hear because we're not tuned in, but we're offered a choice in every moment. So when we choose to ask ourselves, does this action support my vision? Yeah, ask it, go ahead. It's not ridiculous. Sometimes people think, oh, that's so stupid, I'm talking to myself. No, I do it all the time. Wait a minute. Is what I'm doing gonna support where I'm going? Well, no, then I'm not doing that. Or, yeah, do that. Because just the other day, I came up with a new, it's not new, it's something I've been doing with my clients that I've been coaching spiritually. But a lot of the people in my class say, I need your voice when I'm not home. So I was going, that's interesting. I mean, when I'm not with you. So you know what I started doing? Making them recordings and selling them. I'm telling you, you really have to be creative in this world, but you can't hear that stuff if you're not there. So I need to know, is something distracting me from not being able to hear if I can't get an answer? I gotta know that. So ask yourself, do you know that a habit, once it's formed, you're in good shape? I enjoy and totally love life. And I share that with my family. I really do. I love having family life. It's a good thing. Every day. Today, our day, we're going to watch Adam Sandler, for example. But I love being present with them. My boys, basically. My grandsons are like this with me. But we are usually chatting up everything and laughing or eating some, whatever we do, but we're enjoying each other's company. But listen to this. I could be in the midst of a shift stirring within me, and it could come to me at any given time, the shift. And when I become aware of that shift, or something in my life is calling for something, or something in one of their lives is calling for change, I take the time, I go close my bedroom door, and I return to myself. All I do there is create a space to reconnect, to realign, to listen. You know the other day when I talked about the re's, the return, the re-listen, the realignment. Well, that's how I get to listen. And I'm not sitting there going, I'm not efforting. Now, whether I use recordings or any other device, I'm doing some spiritual practice sitting there. Now, I take that time and space for myself anytime I need it. But if you can't do that, get ready and start. I'm not going to say then that means, no, just do it. Remember, and Dr. Wanda said it. We're not trying. Do it. And the beautiful part about when I return back to whatever space that we're in, we could be at Kevin's house, we could be here, whatever, I take my time and step off. But they know me that way. So nothing's lost. When I come back, we're right back. It's like nothing ever missed. So people think, well, if I go do that, I'm going to miss something. Or they're going to think I'm being rude. Well, I don't have time for all of that, especially when I know I have a life and a future to look at. See, I've learned something, that I don't miss a trick about what's going on, because I can imagine what went down when I was gone. You know what I mean? So when it comes to me doing what's essential in my life, I do that first, at least nowadays. I used to maybe not do it as much, but today the habit is, wait a minute, what's going on? Because see, what used to happen when I didn't have the habit was I would go on for too long with that issue. Maybe I wasn't feeling well. Maybe I had a cold coming on and I didn't stop, freeze, and go get myself centered and return. Maybe I was about to lose something or something. I need that space. But let me just say this. You hear every single time. So every time you hear a little bit of bad news or a little bit of something, you were told, but you were blocking because you were too consumed with something outside of you. That's why I take the time to ask myself, if something supports my vision or if it distracts from my vision. So crafting a life of in alignment calls for what? Mindfulness. Because you can't do it without mindfulness. It calls for our discipline because, but even more than discipline, it creates my intended manifestations. It creates them. But let me ask you, are you ready to do that for yourself? Not try. Oh, I love you, Dr. Wanda. Thank you for bringing that word in. It arises from the sacred knowing that we are all walking straight forward in whatever steps and whatever matters to us most. We're walking and taking those steps. And now it could matter to you that you fail better because you don't push yourself to not fail. So then that means you matter. It matters to you that you prefer to fail. I know it sounds so weird, but I didn't make the universal laws. So I just abide by them. I just use them. So even when the path is not clear or my progress is feeling a little bit slow, like, alignment keeps me tied to that purpose. Because then I started to say, wait a minute, you've been playing with this too long. Sit down somewhere and stop. Don't call nobody. Don't talk to nobody. Just sit down. That's how you get to hear. You don't get to hear by calling somebody and saying, guess what? You don't even get to hear just by running up, getting a prayer all the time. Maybe you just need one prayer from that person. Okay, got it. But in every moment, there's a chance to begin again, to what's that thing you do with your printer? Recalibrate, right? And return. We got to keep right? We got to keep returning to ourselves. So spiritual alignment, it's not a one and done or a one-time event. Everybody thinks I did that practice, so I should be. No, it's a habitual thing. It's a practice. It's a devotion. It's a returning to yourself. When we find ourselves at a crossroads, it's time to get into that practice, to devote yourself to it so we can return to ourselves. Because you see, alignment requires us to do these things. In fact, alignment requires us to do three things: trust the vision, trust the process, and trust the deeper call. It's calling you, but you can't hear it because you're over here trying to impress this one, or mad at that one, or can't forgive this and that and the other thing. That's not crafting a life in alignment, but it is crafting the life in alignment to the opposite side of what you want. So I shouldn't say it's not, but it is. So what crafting a life in alignment truly is, it's about intention, but not only intention, it's also about the thing that we need most: to develop a courageous follow through, meaning that we continuously practice. So I'm gonna ask you, are you ready to move towards that vision that's calling you? It's calling you day and night. You can't go to sleep. Stop thinking about the other thing. Oh, but it's hard. Well, you know what? What's more important, the hardness of this work or the desire you want at the end of your future? I mean, in your future. There's never an end. Nothing ends. Just trust that. So, if the answer is yes to your being ready, then look ahead of you. Just open your mind and say, what is the highest vision for me? And you don't have to use those words. Use words. What is it that I'm looking for? Just do it, because you'll start walking in the direction. You're not going to hear big sounding words. Hey, maybe not, but it's a feeling. Knowing, it's a knowing. Knowing makes it imaginable, and it makes it believable, and it also makes it doable. I like the ables. But here's the truth. One simple yes to yourself changes your entire life forever. Now let me share. I don't know how many yeses I've done in the last 30 years, but everything has changed my life. But here's one. Years ago, after a big, beautiful visioning, I got an Allstate agency. And it was beautiful, but that still means that you should reflect on it later when it's time. So I was running it. It was a great career, and I was enjoying myself. But beneath the surface, I had just become practitioner too, because after all that studying and getting into it, you're looking at, it was a lot that I learned. But things were surfacing and beginning to stir up in me. So once I had this little quiet reflection after a lady left my office after giving her life insurance check because her husband passed on. I did that so well. The way I spoke to her and the way she felt when she left. I said to myself, wow, that's powerful. But when you study, I'm telling you, when you study these spiritual studies, you change. If you're doing it the way, legitimately the way you should, but nobody should do anything. You should do whatever you want to do. But if I was truly living in resonance with myself, I would have to ask those questions. So I must have said something to the effect, because this is what I was learning then. So I think I did learn about vision then at that time, but I was saying, am I really vibrating back then I would have, well today I would say, am I really vibrating at the level with the quantum field the way I should? I might have said that. And then I would have said, or am I just dabbling in the familiar? And the answer was clear, because let me tell you about familiar. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it didn't come in words, that yes or no. It came through another thing, realization. realization is you hearing. Gosh, I realized that I was ready. I was ready for change, ready for more than I had going on with my life. I said yes. Remember I said when you say yes, I've said yes 1,000. I said yes to the Allstate agency, even though I thought it was going to be the hardest thing in the world to do, right? So when it was time for me to say yes again, I wasn't saying yes to leave a business behind, but I was saying yes to step into a completely new identity or new business, which is a spiritual practitioner. Now, a lot of people went to be spiritual practitioners, but not everybody took it on as a business. Everything to me is a business because I have one thing that I must say. You have to make a living and you got to figure out how to do it. And if you got skills, you don't have them for no reason. You have them for the universe. You have them to use them for a reason. Because I learned a lot while studying as a spiritual practitioner, and I think it was time to start a new business. It felt risky, because at first it is, because a lot of people don't quite know what you're talking about, a little bit. So I didn't know exactly how it was going to work, but I did learn one thing. When I say yes to alignment, I learned that over time, the field, the quantum field, the infinite field, and all of that stuff conspires with us. That one decision changed my life again. I always say forever because I'm not like that anymore. I'm not in there. I'm not in that kind of business world anymore. I started offering 1-hour spiritual sessions with people. Then a couple of months later, maybe a year later, I decided I'm going to make them all CDs. Well, it wasn't CD at the time. I would put the cassette, not the cassette. Yes, it was CDs. I would put the CD in there while I'm doing the session with them and give them a meditation, and that would be an extra price. I think about things constantly. So I'm sure it must have been my intuition. Why do I say that? Because I was attracting the right people. So when I'm aligned, intuition clicks. So more people started coming and my work started resonating with me, with everybody else. I found the souls that I was meant to serve. And my practice began to grow. So as I continue to evolve to this day, so do my desires and my desire for deeper wisdom, because I'm constantly researching something. I know that without that, I don't want to stay stagnant. So there was a stirring again within me, and it was a hunger while I'm getting this spiritual practice business on a roll now. There was a hunger in me. And it was for me to expand my knowledge and stretch beyond what I had already knew. You always want to know more. And here's the thing. Everything we study in this philosophy continues to evolve too. Everything we study, because everything is science. The rituals, the practices, and the mindset, they all deepen, right? With the whole philosophy. The world even changes. But you know what? We must change too. Now, I know Timmy P mentions a lot about how he went to the School of Metaphysics. Back then, I'm sure they was talking about the candle for meditation. But oh my God, now we've evolved even then more, because before I became a practitioner years ago, I was into yoga, but the breath was a big thing, but it's the vitality. So at that time, the breath wasn't a big deal in spirit. If you do your research, you'll see now they're talking about it. But yoga, the yogic philosophy, always talk about it was the breath that is our vitality that shifts us into whatever. So before, the spiritual philosophies would honor that breath as deeply as the yogic traditions. I get my tongue tied again. Of India, where I learned through the India ones. I didn't learn from the Western people, right? I learned from the India one. But anyway, Ernest Holmes, even though he was the founder of Science of Mind, he didn't emphasize the breath in such the same way as these philosophies of the yogic people did. What is beautiful about this whole breath thing was it has been revered because science is now getting involved. Whatever science gets involved with, spirituality does. So the yogic traditions as well have begun to talk about that prana. You know, prana is that life force that not all Western spiritual paths have embraced at that time. And this, I'm only talking less than 10 years ago. Right? And yet we have now come full circle. We are rediscovering that the breath is not just a function, but it's a pathway. It's a living bridge. Guess where I'm going? It's a living bridge between the mind, body, and spirit. That is all I know. Those three pieces have to be a part of me. That's what makes me whole. That's why we can never stop learning. Spiritual growth calls for ongoing study, fresh insight, and a willingness to revisit what we thought we already knew. So each time we come back to study, we must come back with new eyes. We must come back with an open heart. So when I hear that inner call saying, you know, you ready to go for the next level? I say yes. What about you? So start that. Start saying yes. When you get ready to do something and you're going, oh no, I feel like a fool. Say yes. Because that's what it's giving you. That's your answer. You're looking for it to come out of the thunder. So starting a spiritual practice business was beautiful for me. But one of the things I do is I keep up with my continuing education. It's not required by anybody. But it's better if I'm going to stay in the service of people as effectively as I am. I am very talented in this field. But I chose that. This is what I decided. So over those beautiful years of study, it became clear to me, we cannot speak of spirituality without honoring the whole being. Mind, body, and spirit is all connected. We are integrated beings. So my path I walk, or the programs I offer, must reflect that wholeness of mind, body, spirit. That's all you hear me talk about. You will never hear me say anything else anymore because now I've gone to another evolution. Well, that was before I got this center because I knew we're going to do all three things. So spirit is within, but guess what carries spirit? Our bodies. Okay? And if you don't have a healthy one, how you going to have it? So true transformation happens when all three things are in harmony. Truthfully, our bodies are only sustained on this planet. Listen to this. It's only sustained on the planet through health and vitality. So why would you go crazy, eating craziness, doing crazy things with this body, not working out? You see, once that body deteriorates, spirit leaves, but spirit never dies. Holy moly, it departs. Oh gosh. That's the truth I serve, and that's the truth I carry when I'm dealing with people. So when do we decide that we're going to start coming back to ourselves? I mean, it may not be, you may not do what I do, but you got to find yours. Because when we come back to study, we rise. And in that rising, we begin to see ourselves with a new pair of eyes. We see ourselves with new eyes. We see ourselves as capable and radiant, but we also feel called. Yes, you do. And that's what it is. And it's all that aligns with who we are. And it's that alignment with the energetic field that's all around us. It's energy. And it's this infinite potential. It's a sacred communion with me and the divine mind. It's a sacred communion with you and the divine mind. It's a holy dialogue, if you will, okay, with energy. And check it out. This same energy we're constantly dealing with dreamed us. It dreamed you into existence. And when we feel called, guess what's happening? We are becoming. When we feel called, we develop trust in the process. You develop it because you got to figure out, man, I got to trust this thing. We lean into this posture. I call it a posture when you're doing this. When we lean into the posture of receptivity, I don't know how you receive. You could receive in what was I saying earlier about me? A realization. You can receive in getting up in the morning, having a dream, and hearing some voices. You can receive, but we lean into receptivity. When we ask, what is the highest vision for my life? What do I need to release to embrace it, to become that vision? The answers don't come like thunder. They come like a whisper sometimes. But if you're upset with this person and mad with that person and can't forgive this and that, and you're worried about what they think of you and blah, 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 you can't hear. But when divine insight lands on you, that realization rarely points you to something that's familiar, or the familiar folks and the familiar friends. That thing, because you know what about familiar? Living in the comfort of familiar, or familiar rhythms, I like to say, they might soothe you temporarily, but it pulls you away from your call, that deep call of your soul that's inside that body that you have to keep well. Oh yes, you can say, oh, I go to walk. No, you might as well pick up some of that weight a little bit sometimes, or do some things, work that body, because you need the strength there. Because here's the thing, it's not very familiar for you to say, I work out if you never do. But familiarity may feel safe by saying, I don't think I'll do it. But that doesn't get you aligned. Familiarity. Just because something is known doesn't mean that it's for our highest and best. So true alignment really lives beyond comfort. It lives in the place where your soul says, this is truly who I am, or this is not who I am. So let me just wrap it up. So this week, keep reminding yourself that you're not walking alone, because you're not. And keep reminding yourself that you're not broken. Because as spiritual beings, having human experiences, we are always becoming. When you ask yourself a question, keep moving on. Because when you feel the divine, the answer may come in physical ways. It may not come in physical words. It may come in physical ways. Maybe a person may give you, oh my goodness, there's a clue. The answer is coming in, feeling urges to do something. Or, like I always say, that realization. So act on what you feel. Be present each moment. Do things that reflect your highest desires, not your oldest fears. Did you hear me? Let the things reflect your highest desires, not your older fears. Your fears are older than your desires. Stop it. The practice deepens your discipline and devotion. It teaches you to prioritize. Let me check this off my list. Your soul is calling you over your distraction, but you continue to allow it, the distraction. So let that be your reminder this week. You're not here by accident. You're here by divine appointment. Kid you not. Let it lift your spirit. And as it lifts your spirit, let it anchor you. Because when you start letting it lift your spirit, you can literally fly. Here we go with my metaphor. Let them remind you your dreams. Let them remind you that nothing is impossible. They're waiting for your yes, your dreams. So when your spirit lifts you up so high to the point you are ready to say yes, you will fly. So listen to the next song, I Believe I Can Fly, by Yolanda Adams. Oh my God! You were were born with wings. Maybe not the wings that you find on a bird, but they get you off the floor. They elevate you. It's in your spirit. Those wings, man. And let me tell you, your vision and your purpose are right on those wings, man. And yes, if you believe it, it's not that scary to leap, baby, because you're going into the unknown, but you can do it. And yes, it might feel scary to leap. Oh my God. But I believe I can fly. And don't you believe it that you can fly? Well, that's a calling. And you got to hear the voice. And you got to say yes. And that's your alignment. So if your soul is asking you, or you asking, what would life look like if I did X, Y, and Z? Well, let me tell you something. That's that conversation right there between you and the divine. Let's do it, y'all. Whoa, boy, Timmy P. Thank you. You're always on the point with that. So I just need to do my big shout outs, right, for the whole platform team. Thank you to our awesome right-hand man, Alan Lilly. For the MC, he delivered that so well and eloquently. Well, is it eloquent for men too? Opening and closing prayer, we had our fabulous Dr. Wanda from Southern California. That's my girl. She has been with me for, wow, almost 20 years. Okay. And thank you, Reverend Sonja, for your fabulous reading style. Honey, you did that thing. You decided I'm going to read this. And you went with the salt and pepper look there, girl. You ready? Go ahead, girl. You did that thing with great sound, baby. You read with sound. You were music to my ears. So thanks, Melissa, for spotlighting and greeting for us. That was fabulous as well. And Timmy P, thank you so much for the music and announcements, because you always pick up on things of the talk to just carry it out for people's minds, for them to take it to the next week. So that's the important thing. Carry it out. And thank you, Mo, for doing that email process for us and being prepared to send in our prayer requests when people request them. So, okay, beautiful. So guess what? Drum roll, please. Today, I would like to celebrate one of my good friends, Melissa. In 3 days, wait, 27, 28, 29, 31, 30. I missed 30. 5 days. She is going to be another age. You thought I was going to say your age. Not on your life. But anyway, Melissa, we got to think about her birthday today. So let's sing her the song, the birthday song. Happy birthday, Melissa. Everybody else can, if you want, to chime in. And Groovy, hello, my darling. I could never forget you. I forgot what I was supposed to remember. But anyway, guys, so as we close out today, the talk, crafting a life in alignment, Groovy's birthday. Oh my God, do it again. Do that. Oh my God, it's Groovy's birthday too. But I thought Groovy was in July. Okay, cool beans. Let's do Groovy's birthday. Happy birthday. Groovy's birthday is tomorrow. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, so we got for the price of one today. So remember during the week, we talked about crafting, okay? Crafting a life in alignment. I invite you to remember something. The smile. Let me tell you what the smile is. The smile is the thing that gets into your cells. There's certain things that you do with your body that creates something in your body. I mean, you do with your body that creates something in your spirit. If you smile, it's cells going down. If you're upset, it's cells going in. So you always have control of what's going on in your body. So think about this. The smile changes feelings inside of you, so you better believe it's changing a lot more than feelings. Have you ever heard the therapy? I did a research the other day about a person with cancer, and they did a thing laughing for them for about 8 or 9 months, and they are in remission and never thought about it again, and the cancer never returned again. So I think it's a wonderful thing. Smile. So I'm just using that word to be really sincere about this word smiling. Smiling is not a joke. It's really good. See, remember, alignment doesn't mean everything is going to be easy. It means that I trust, and smiling becomes an act of spiritual resilience. Okay? So remember that smile. And a simple, profound, yet truth about this whole thing about living in alignment is joy becomes visible through your smile. So let it radiate, guys. Let it radiate. Now listen to the song Smile by Kirk Franklin. Ooh, you are so welcome, Groovy. I thought about you because I said I haven't played this in a while, and now I happen to play. Ah, that's good that I missed your. Almost forgot your birthday. I didn't forget it. I don't say I forgot it if I didn't. Ow! So now, yeah. So crafting crafting a life in alignment is really, really good. All we got to do is just smile. So, Dr. Wanda, are you ready to pray us out?
I am. Okay, so there are very many, there's not a lot of absolutes, but what is absolutely true is that there's one power, one truth, one divine presence, and it is absolute good. This good is not distance or conditional. It is within me, around me, expressing as me. I accept this truth with a grateful heart. And I know that as I walk through this world, my energy field touches everyone I encounter through each thought, each word, each moment of presence. I am a living expression of the power of one. There is no separation, only unity, connection, and wholeness. I align myself fully with this divine frequency. I release the illusion that change begins out there. I turn inward to that sacred inner world where love, peace, and wisdom reside. From this inner sanctuary, good flows outward, naturally, powerfully, and consistently. I am so grateful for this realization, grateful to remember that wholeness is my divine birthright, grateful to live in the knowing that the world is within, and from there, the world transforms. There is only one truth, and it is alignment. It is one. And what I know is that there are no mistakes. So when Reverend Rosedale said she was Christing a new life instead of crafting a new life, she was right. We were coming from that Christ consciousness and we were crafting through as and in it. And with that, I simply say thank you. And so it is, and I let it be.
Oh, it is. Dr. Wanda didn't miss a beat, right? You said Christing. You got it right, girl. You got that. Thanks, Dr. Wanda. So, as we wrap up our time together today, don't guess, know that crafting a life in alignment is already in the works for you. You started today. So as we leave this sacred space right here, remember this. Visioning is not just imagining a better life, okay? It's aligning with that divine conversation between you and the divine mind. Keep the conversation going and keep yourself alive because the universe is always responding, always reflecting back and supporting you on your path. So let that thing go. And all you need to do is develop the power or the habit by repetition, which is the mother of skill. Take that courage and answer yes to the call within. So until we meet again, remember, you are stronger than you know. That's the song we did first. You are stronger than you know. So see you then. Start crafting a life. Start crafting a life in alignment. Take care, everybody.